The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Yo,
Yeah.
you already know what time it is. So I see we have people in the. Can you come, Michael? There we go. So we got people. We have people definitely in the building. Well, in the screening, in the streaming. We got Tam telling tales in the building. We got my man Q. That's Q Lewis, ain't it?
What
Hello.
up, though, for sure?
That's what's up. And B Ty should be joining us soon. If he ain't
What's
already.
going on?
There we go. I can't really hear you, Tam, but I know we can see you. Put us all up on that screen, brother.
All right, give me one moment. Give y'all five.
Can we see Tam? We hear you, Tam.
Give me one. Give me one moment to table.
Hey, Tam.
So we got everybody.
So, welcome. Hold on. Why am I so loud and echoey? So, Melissa, cut me down a little bit. Cut my mic down a little bit. There we go. That ain't gonna work for us, brother. You gotta put us in all squares.
All squares?
Yeah. So,
Let's see. All squares. Gotcha. We got.
you just talking. We can't hear you that good, Tam.
Right.
You talk.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah. You got to talk into the microphone.
There you go, Tam.
Tam. Yeah, definitely Tam. What's up? Not that kind of squares, but okay.
Oh, what up, though? I can be the main star. Okay.
You definitely. Yeah, we need a screen that's kind of. Never mind. Hey, I'm just coming in.
Got jokes. It's too. Yep. Whatever.
I'm just coming in real quick, and not curve, brother. But anyway, I'll let you get that together. And listen, I'm coming in just to get the party started because I got obituaries to do. But I appreciate all y'all showing up. And we're about to get out of here. I'm about to get out of here. Y'all can still stay where you at. And I'm about to get out of here. And JR is going to be joining us today.
I bet. That's what's
What's
up.
going on?
Tam, you need another microphone, sweetie.
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't typically be here doing the thing, so I figured
You said
myself
books is your
out.
thing, not technology, huh?
That ain't my thing. Okay.
Okay.
I feel you.
Gotcha.
All
Okay.
right, then. You get me off the camera, JR, and let them get started.
All right, bet.
There you go.
What's
Turn your
going
phone
on, y'all?
sideways, Tam.
But I do be want to say, hold on. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Turn your phone sideways.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, here we go.
There we
There we
go.
go. There you go.
Yeah. We got action.
Come on in. Listen, you telling me to do all the things I be telling people to do when they come on live with me.
Uh huh.
Okay. The tables have turned.
We're going to
All right. We good
552.
now.
Hold on a minute.
552. All right. I got you. All right, B. Ty, go ahead and kick us off.
Yo, man, what's going on with y'all, dog? Hey, it's honestly been kind of a dry week in media, but I did come across a clip. Y'all, anybody familiar with Math Alpha
Yeah. No, for sure.
podcast? Okay,
Uh huh.
so he had Rory and Maul on there, and of course, they were talking about the whole Joe Budden situation because Rory and Maul used to work with Joe,
Right.
and Rory was saying it was all love, and it just the situation at hand went bad because the character of them was being put on like put in a different light basically,
Yeah.
and Matt Hoffman was saying that it would be a good idea for them to reunite, and both of them said
Shit.
that It wouldn't work because it wouldn't be genuine. Yeah, it'll run the numbers up. Yeah, everybody will watch it, but would it be
Right.
genuine was the question. And I thought about this, and I thought about asking y'all this.
Hmm.
I feel like if Rory and Maul was to join Joe Button right now, it just for an episode, not to join them permanently because that'd be stupid. Rory and Maul just joined Netflix, so I don't even think that even make any sense now.
Right.
But if they were to team up for an episode, I think that would be dope. Keep all the same people
Uh,
that's there, and then Rory and Maul.
eh,
It depends on who's emotionally stable enough to handle that conversation.
well,
I
first of
think
all,
it'd be cool
we
to.
know Joe not. So you
No,
know Joe
no,
not
no, no.
emotional stable
I,
enough.
I think Joe is emotionally stable enough to handle it. I just
Uh,
think the performer in him is gonna make it seem like he's not. Joe is sick in the head, bro.
word. No, I just said I wouldn't. I think that's one of them things, kind of just a little bit of what we're talking about today, right? I think that that's one of them things where it might be good for the clicks, but it ain't good for building the brand. I wouldn't
Right.
do it personally. Yeah, it'd be cool for the fans. Like we would love to see that. And like for me though, I ain't gonna lie to you. If they can get on the same stage together and it don't break out into a fight, then I ain't even want to see it anyway.
Yeah.
Because they need to go ahead and scrap it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Real talk. But I really think that the who need to scrap it out will be between Joe and Maul.
Yeah,
Joe
I
and
mean, it
Maul.
seems like they got the most beef.
Yeah, they got the bigger beef with as far as having an issue with each other.
Yeah,
Maul, I mean not Maul, but Rory and Joe, they seem to be all right. You know what I'm saying? But they not cool like that either. So
yeah,
I feel like yeah, like you said, if a viewership it will work, but it would still all depend on Joe and how
right.
emotionally stable Maul is. Because
Yeah,
I think Maul he take whatever Joe did behind the scenes that nobody else knows about and
hmm,
on scene, I think he's taking it more personal than anybody. And I
nah, for
think the
sure.
reason why he explained it a little bit on the clip that I watched. It was like a 20-minute clip.
Hmm.
Maul did
Was it
say
really
that
20 minutes?
he only taken it that personal because they were friends.
Yeah,
So yeah, it would all depend on the emotional intelligence that Maul had, honestly.
yeah. I think probably too, and I don't know how this will work because there's too many people on Joe Budden joint. But I feel like
Yeah.
the only way it could possibly even kind of go right is if they went on their show. Like if Rory and Maul go on the Joe Budden podcast, it's a wrap. Like he winning already. So if they
Oh,
can
got
somehow
you.
get them to come over to Rory and Maul joint, then maybe because like they kind of on the home court advantage type thing. But if they got to come over to Joe Budden joint, oh, it's a wrap. It's gonna be chaos. They might do it for Netflix ratings. Like I don't know, but I wouldn't do it personally if I was Rory or Maul. I wouldn't do it.
Can we
Yeah, because I see how I could
can we
get
talk about
like,
can we
listen,
talk about
if
that a little bit? About
what's
the
up?
Netflix stuff when y'all get a chance. When y'all
Yeah, yeah,
get a
for
chance.
sure.
Step away from that boy.
Um, I was just getting ready to say that I think well because of that situation, because of that breakup specifically,
Mm.
that they showed the game, they show how messy this game can be. Unfortunately, that was the blueprint. Nobody
Right,
was big back then. Nobody podcast was as big as Joe Buttons when it was just
right.
them with him.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah, you probably got something in there with that with not doing the Q.
yeah.
I think I'm with you on that one.
Nah, for
Because
sure.
even if
Well,
it don't start off ugly, it could turn ugly after the fact.
it's going to, yeah, for sure. And if it don't turn ugly, I'm gonna be mad because that's all I want to see.
That's
I'm just
funny.
saying, like when you put them together, it's just like when you watch the verses with Gucci and Jeezy, it was like you was waiting on the drama. Like that's all I'm doing if I watch them on the podcast. I'm waiting on the drama.
Yeah, I get it.
So it'll
Yeah,
be good for clicks, for their brands. I'm gonna say nah. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm with you on that. Now, what you wanted to tap into the Netflix deal, Tam?
Yeah, man. I don't know if you guys had the chance to see Just Hilarious
Oh,
with
she said it ain't the thing.
she like this ain't really what the people thinking that it is. You know, they done
Uh
took
huh.
away so much of their ability to do stuff outside of the Netflix platform that they don't really feel connected to their audience
Hmm.
anymore.
Oh, no
And it
comment
still
section.
kind of, ties into our theme for today with the building a brand. They have this brand, they have a certain way that they've been doing things for so long, and now that they have elevated in a way, they now have to pull away from the things that they're known for. So,
Exactly.
uh, yeah,
Yeah,
That
that's kind of
hard
tough.
sucks.
times.
That does suck when you think about it. Essentially all Netflix would have to do is just develop a section, right? They
Yeah,
got
but
the
I don't.
money in the
They
Yeah,
probably
but
don't have the capacity to do that.
yeah, and don't nobody go over to Netflix for podcasts anyway. If we're gonna keep it 100, we don't go to Netflix to make comments on stuff. We don't do that there. Like I feel like if you know that this is what you do that and do it well. Netflix,
Yeah.
y'all make movies. Show a lot of
what,
good movies and series and let Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube do what they do.
I think it's a lane for it, but somewhere they gotta allow them to still have some control over their brand though. So like if you on Netflix, you can't like tell me I can't put it nowhere else. Like especially if I didn't build my whole reputation on YouTube or whatever. Like it's weird
right.
though, because yeah, if you can't get that same interaction, it's kind of like what's the point? Who is this benefiting? Is it benefiting Netflix? Is it benefiting the brand? Is it benefiting iHeartRadio? Like who getting a win out of this?
And
See,
plus,
the way
it's
I
not
see
gonna
it,
outlive the, as we
who's
say, the algorithm. It's not gonna outlive it because yeah, you might have got you a great deal to be over
Hmm.
on Netflix, but how long are you really gonna be over there and be happy? You got your little lump sum, you be over there for a little piece of 1 2 years, but look
Yeah,
at what it gonna possibly do to the brand that you've been building for a couple decades.
20 years, right?
but
Yeah,
here's my thing though. Who's YouTube's competition? When you think about YouTube, because all right, you got Spotify and you got Apple Podcasts where you can just listen. You know what I'm saying? You got the audio joints, which is fine. But who's YouTube's competition?
Right
It
now,
ain't nobody. I think
It
Facebook
ain't.
tried it, they failed. Who else
well,
is YouTube's competition?
well,
Like I
then
said, let
here's the
folks do
second
their
part of that
thing and
though.
do it well.
If you got a bigger following on Facebook, depending on where levels you on. So if you're higher on Facebook, YouTube won't really matter. If you're higher on YouTube, Facebook, and all that other
True.
stuff wouldn't matter. It just depends on where you started because there are bigger brands than a person on YouTube that's on Facebook, and they won't go to YouTube.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
that would be the only thing I would say would be the difference. And if they want to grow, they say, "Hey, I've been on YouTube and I've been making X amount of dollars." At some point, it's gonna make a difference in the sense of 30 years from now, somebody's gonna come up with something that everybody's gonna
yeah.
flock to. When they came up with TikTok, it flooded people who you did not know nothing about flooded TikTok. They made more money on TikTok than they did YouTube. But they know that if they want to keep it around a long time, the algorithm says, hey, get it on YouTube and it's going to be there for life. But if you put it on
Yeah.
TikTok, we can shut that down and it'll never be again. Like MySpace. You can't find MySpace anymore.
Right.
MySpace.
You know what I'm
Eh,
saying? So it's if they
Black
so
Planet either.
see
Black
that
Planet. He used to go down on Black Planet, bro.
Hell yeah.
see
Man. Don't even get
exactly.
me started.
Right.
MySpace. Yeah, y'all remember
But
Black
I
Planet?
under I understood what she was saying though. Like so they can get the bag, they can get the money over there, they can shift the. I mean, you can shift the whole culture and move it over to Netflix. But I think when you're talking about like them um, really like interacting with the audience, I think you do lose that. Like I as of yet, I haven't watched a podcast on Netflix yet, so
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I am.
Wasn't
Eh,
Netflix the one that took that the pop the balloon show too? Didn't they
Oh yeah, they
yeah.
and
destroyed it,
And they
and they
made it
destroyed it.
it was
corny.
horrible.
They made it corny. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is why I say like sometimes it's okay to stay in your lane. Do what you do and do it well.
No,
Netflix
for
Yeah.
make
sure.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. I get where you coming. I get where you coming from, Tam. And as far as to be honest, if we gonna compare not Netflix, but compare YouTube to Facebook, to be quite honest with you, Facebook paying the most.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
for
I
sure
heard.
they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
heard. I ain't tell you that speak from personal
Man,
experience, but that's
yeah.
what I
I,
heard.
I know from personal experience. That's how I'm able to tell. Like, oh, okay, I'll never leave Facebook. Even and this was funny. This was what's
Never.
funny too. Some of these, a lot of these content creators, I listen to quite a few of them, and I listen to quite a few podcasts. They were talking crazy about Facebook at one point, saying, "Oh, Facebook for the uncles and the aunties and all of that." Meanwhile, they cutting a bigger check than YouTube is,
Y'all got to
and
remember though, we the
Facebook.
ones with
I,
money. We the ones
right,
with the
right, but
401ks
Facebook.
that still be having jobs and money to
Yep,
spend. So that
Right.
makes sense.
Facts.
yeah. So then Facebook also, like, I noticed you can get shadow banned on any platform, but the
Hmm.
shadow ban is a lot quicker, from my experience again, on YouTube than it is anywhere else.
Yeah.
If I want some traction, I gotta keep it current events or music. That's it for me. I
Yeah.
can't speak for nobody else. But if I get on there and just start talking something positive and about marriage, nothing.
They don't want to hear that.
Nope.
No one cares.
Nope.
Right. Exactly.
Go home, Unc.
Nope.
Go home, Unc.
Boo! Get off the stage.
Right.
Right.
Tomato,
Tomato,
tomato, tomato,
tomato.
tomato. Yep.
But you know what? Something that you touched on earlier, I would say, is that if we all came together and used one thing and blew that one thing up as a unit or a unity, as black people in general or Caucasians, whoever, how many people is in on it, it's kind of like, I'm gonna use Tubi, right? I'm just gonna use Tubi. If they had a section where it was just podcast, and I'm talking about, but these was hidden podcasts that was boom, 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 Tubi would go crazy. It'll break,
Right.
it would break the network to the point where nobody would be like, Tubi. Goes from like number 47 on the list to number top 25 in an instance. And then now, what I think too, what happens with what we don't do is that if I see you, Todd, I say, hey man, you blowing up, you doing your thing, woo, woo, woo. I hate on you, right? But I'm hating on you. But then G supports you, Tam supports you, and Miles, and they support you. For me hating one thing, and I say one thing, and I'm in the same culture, man, we shun it away.
Right.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I'm like, I'll be forgotten about, but you'll keep going, and then you'll remember
Yeah.
Right.
me as being a hater. And now you see
Right.
you see me 10 years down the line, I can be doing well, but you be doing much better. And then now we beef. We really had no beef, but because I didn't like what you was doing, we're not following the build a brand algorithm format, which is support one person. Like we used to support those little mom and pop shops. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, but when we all had MySpace, and I know I was on MySpace. I had the best page. I was
No, for
coming
sure.
out, make everything. But
Had
it's
music playing in the background.
Hell
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. We just don't get to actually live our lives the way that we should, and then it's hard for us to come together as a unit to build that algorithm. Because one thing we can support. Like, I think Joe Budden is okay. I don't think he's the best, but he's okay. But between him, Diary of a CEO, and what's the white guy name? Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Joe,
Yeah.
Those and it's a lady. They fight for the number one spot every month.
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins for sure.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, the truth. Yeah.
So, but what do? They support each other by
Yeah.
by not. They don't even have to be on each other's podcast, but they know. It's one of those things where I've learned that, like, if you know somebody, that I know somebody, that he knows somebody, that she knows somebody, we should all be in cahoots and cohorts with each other and saying, hey, listen, you own that coffee shop? Well, listen, if you put $50 into my pod, I'm gonna present this X, Y, and Z, and then we gonna promote it everywhere. I'm talking about flyers, billboards, different things of that nature. We all know somebody who can do something. So the more notoriety I feel like people see, when you shove it in their face, just like how we shove, and not to change the subject, but when we shove Trump, if anybody says Trump, you know what time it is. You can flip a coin
Yeah.
and say Trump, and you know what time it is. Or
Yeah.
or if anything, if you said the hottest music video out right now, if it was Beyonce, we know it's Beyonce. Hey, Beyonce put out that, or we know that who's gonna be talking, shaking knees and busting and shaking their rear ends. We gonna say Megan Thee Stallion.
Right, busting it wide open.
Right,
Yeah.
we know it's gonna be that. But at the end of the day, I feel that with building the algorithm beyond your brand, it all starts with us as a unit.
Yeah,
You know,
that's for sure.
I went out last night and just like to the bowling alley, and I was like, I had my shirt on. I was like, hey, support. I got a follower, and I got person that follow my pod, and another one to follow my social.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
what's
better
up.
I
than
mean, that's
nothing.
really what it is. So, kind of like what you're saying is building your own ecosystem. So you kind of create your own algorithm, and I can dig that, and I think that goes in hand with building your brand because if that's what your brand is, then of course it'll be a little more helpful. That's why I think we do have to focus more on what your brand is rather than chasing the algorithm because the algorithm switch it up so much, bro. It's like if you that's just like I mean I hate to use this example. That's just like chasing pussy though. Like you just gotta at some point, you know what I'm saying? At some point, if you doing the work on your brand, it's gonna come to you. I mean, that's just
You're
my
not
general.
lying. You're not lying.
I heard
Listen,
you.
no, listen.
You talking about all
Q,
right? Sound like
Q,
How did we
if
get
you
to
right,
this?
you
Q.
We
right.
just was talking.
No, Q is
How?
absolutely right though. I'm telling you. I think when it comes down to just using just women for an example, I got more action from women when I wasn't paying attention. When I wasn't feeding it, when I wasn't chasing, it was like
How did
okay,
we get
like
to this?
no. I'm piggybacking off of what Q was saying. He's right. When you okay, all right, let me bring it back to the brand thing. When I walk
Yeah,
around wearing my apparel, right? When I walk around wearing my apparel, not saying, "Hey, look at me, this is my podcast," blah blah blah. I get more attention from people when I'm not saying a word about it. I'm just rocking it. Sometimes I forget I'm even wearing it because it just is it's so normal for me now. So now
yeah,
I get people tapping me on my shoulder. Hey, sorry to bother you, but what's talks with Todd? That happens. It don't happen all the time, but it happens more than what I would think it should happen because I'm not
yeah.
even paying attention to the fact that I'm wearing my stuff that much.
Right. No, for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? It could be a hat, something like that, because I started my own transportation company. I just so happen to be wearing my TWT hat backwards, not even paying attention to it. Somebody says, "Hey, what's TWT stands for?" I tell them what it is, but I'm like, it has a double meaning. It talks with Todd is because of my platform, but it's also trips with Todd because of me doing this, driving
Yeah,
people around. So
for
they
sure.
like, oh well, I didn't even know that you did that. That's cool. I'll listen to your stuff. All right, bet, cool. So it'd be like it's a quick, easy plug that you don't even be thinking about.
Right. And without chasing the algorithm, because all you really doing is still concentrating on the brand. And I feel like if you concentrate on the brand, you will find the algorithm. So it's easy. Well, I ain't gonna say easy, but well, yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that aspect of chasing the algorithm, trying to basically do what's hot so that you can jump into the algorithm. You got to really build your brand and make your own lane in the algorithm at this point because it's not saturated, but there are a lot of podcasts. So you gotta define your brand and you gotta stick with it.
Yeah, and
And you know what?
that's
You could,
interesting though because when I think about the whole idea of branding and not changing the algorithm, I feel like that's important because people still exist and are living and communicating and socializing outside of the internet, right?
Exactly.
Like I think sometimes some people, because not me, they'll get so consumed with numbers, algorithms, and what's on the internet that we forget that it's still actual people out here in the world that you are engaging with, and
Right.
the internet is not able to put a number on that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
yeah,
So, branding is a huge thing for me, and definitely not giving the algorithm all the love that it's been getting because we also know that people be faking it.
Oh, for
Okay,
sure.
you
For
know
sure.
all of that don't be stuff that they just organically got. People be out here
yeah,
buying that stuff. You know what I'm
yeah.
Right.
saying?
What Jay Z say? Y'all spend real money on fake jewelry. That's shockingly.
Cause listen,
Now,
you
one
Go
of the
ahead.
points that our super producer brought up too is just your identity versus the content, right? So I think that's always important to keep in mind because at the end of the day, like I mean, you don't want to sell yourself out to get to get to where you're trying to go. That's pretty much the way I look at that. If this not you, then you shouldn't be doing it because like at
Okay.
some point the real you is gonna have to come out. Like you're not gonna be able to keep up this facade the whole time. Like now, if you're looking at something quick, I feel like if you building a brand, whether that be a podcast or whatever business you're doing, you got to be looking at longevity. If you're trying to get
Yeah.
rich in a couple of months, I don't really care about that. I want consistent checks. I don't want one big check. I want consistent checks. So I think you
Yeah.
got to really look at it like that too, though.
I agree with that. I like that. I also say too, don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, right? And so,
For
for
sure.
those who do, in the sense of have a podcast, then it's in that sense they should be on each other's podcast. It shouldn't be a podcast that you should not be a part of, because how you build your audience is also by sharing and getting into other rooms, and there's also too going to the events that are subject around podcasting, and even some things that ain't subject around it, like going to I think it's what is it? IT Tech something, like they be having their little conferences. You need to be at one of
Black Tech
those ones.
Saturdays, yeah.
And so when you do that, you was like, hey, so listen, if I set up a little booth and I got somebody to talk about tech, I don't care about it, but it's just a bonus episode for me. But and you know,
Right.
but you do it, and now they be like, hey, I really like that you did that. Now you start to build that connection, and I think too, to add to the algorithm, instead of looking at things just for the money aspect, we should be looking more at the bartering and partnering. Because if I partner with you, you don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything, but I need to withhold mine. But if we, you're building something, I like to advertise it. Hey, listen, for every 3 rides, I'm just using you, Todd. For every 3 rides they get, and they say my podcast, and that gives me 10% of that ride, I can go with that. I'd be like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, well, shoot, it's every 3 rides. It's not every ride, it's every 3 rides. So if they mention my podcast every 3 rides, you know that I'm promoting you. And you'd be like, damn, he's still putting money in my pocket. Every 3 rides, 10%. That's a good deal. Then somebody else says, hey, well, Todd, did you want to bring yours to Atlanta? He'd be like, I don't know yet. I'm working on it. And then next year, and then it just keeps building.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could
And
be,
and
No, for sure.
I said this earlier too. Like I made a post saying that a lot of podcasts don't do well because they're not having real conversations with real people. A lot of creativity comes from having genuine conversations. Like I started season 5 of my platform today because of a conversation I had with my boy that is also my producer. And we was having just a regular conversation about Detroit and everything, and people are missing the key to having a great podcast. Is not just about coming up with random topics to be blabbering about. You got to have real
Whatever.
conversations and just and really like hone in on those good conversations. I came up with a whole topic just from having a real conversation with my homeboy. And it was
Right.
like, oh damn, that's gonna be the first episode, just like that.
Yeah.
Just some creativity was sparked off a genuine conversation. These people are not having real conversations no more. They're typing their lives away. That's really it. And then or
Yeah.
saying, hey, this is gonna be the topic for this week. They're not talking for real. And that's why
Yeah.
some of these conversations don't go right. So I think that that's another way to build up. Just start having these conversations again, and it could be something natural. Like I'm not just gonna randomly hit up Tam like, hey yo, let's have a conversation so I could get my creative juices flowing. No, it could just be a regular ass conversation, and then boom, something happens, something sparks from that. Somebody's gonna get something from the conversation. Oh, you know what? That's a
Hmm.
good idea from a topic for a topic like that. That could also add on to building your own brand outside of the algorithm.
right.
No,
I
for sure.
agree. I agree. And also people got to realize too that like when you if we just since we're using podcasts, You are a journalist and you are a newscaster. Like, you are the voice of the people on whatever platform you decide to get on. So if you're talking about women's rights, then everything needs to come by facts. If you're with the political in churches, everything needs to come political and by churches. You can always voice your opinion, but people want facts. And people are turning, now the younger generation are turning less on the TV for, news and CNN and stuff, but they're tuning in to podcasts. So if you say, hey, if you're this fat and overweight, this is why your mama left your dad, and this because you have a family relationship podcast, somebody tuning in because they want to know more about it. I had a guy of mine, and he was talking about how men don't cheat and rich men don't cheat. And then
Look at him.
But it went viral for me though, because the way he said it, and it was like, he was like, a wife, she says, women, he said, he made a statement along with that, and he was like, hey, women aren't mad that the man cheated, they're mad at the embarrassment. That one little sentence went platinum on my joint. They went crazy. I was going crazy. Like, and then I dropped it on a blog post, and we went up to like 83, 100K, almost 100K. And but it's clickbait. But they know about it and they want it. So it's just one of those things that, and also people too, not to hate on anybody that doesn't have a podcast. You should have a podcast. You need to start a podcast. Thanks to Podcasting Network. Want to say all that. Thanks to Podtalk and Talks with Ted and everybody else. Shout out all that real quick. But if you're going to start a podcast, start it. Don't wait. And like Todd said, talk with some common sense. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, can I
Yeah.
say something real quick on that? Okay. 'Cause and
Uh-oh.
don't y'all be mad at me, right? But see, I just be feeling like,
Can you put the mic to your mouth though?
everybody need like this. Can y'all
There
hear
you
me?
go.
Y'all still can't hear me? Right
Yeah.
here? That's good. Okay, good. Because I want y'all to hear me. I don't really feel like everybody needs to start a podcast. A lot of people don't have nothing good to contribute to the audible world. Like, I think that they need to just support the people who do have something good to say. They need to support the people who are good communicators, because let's face it, everybody can't do everything. I have seen some people get them a podcast and their voice just be so dry. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say after
You said
about
dry.
22 seconds.
Right.
I don't
Dry.
want to hear it no more. You know what I mean? And so then it's like, whatever you're investing, whether it's time or money, into this thing that you don't do well, I just
Yeah.
feel like you could
But
just learn
structure
from
though.
other podcasts.
Right, but structure though. So just like I'm gonna use Todd. Todd, you're an actor, right? You've acted in movies and you know about it. I've never been in a movie. I never wanted to. I never.
You've been in the movie.
So
I'm a novice actor, by the way. I was only in one movie. Well, I'll take that back. I've been in two movies.
I know that.
We just had a movie premiere last Sunday.
Right.
It's called In All the Wrong Places. It was Tia's movie.
Right, but here's the assist. If I say, hey Todd, I want to act, so if there's a new movie or an opportunity to come out, I'd like to try it for that role. Never acted a day in my life, but guess what? If I listen to him, and that's what a lot of people don't, they don't want to listen to directions. They just want to just do it. So if a person does want to start their podcast, there's somebody, now there's the fictitious people who just do it just because, oh, well, I can teach you this and just to make some money and make nothing. You might be hot for this month, but not hot next month. But what I'm saying is that if we put people in position to actually learn and teach with the purpose, and not just for the monetary thing, a lot of people have more successful podcasts. Because if you say, hey, I say, Todd, give me some lines to read that helped you X, Y, and Z, and I just read his lines, like, nah, I don't think that's the character for you. Try this line. I'm listening to a professional, or I'm listening to a guy who has acting experience. So when it comes to the podcast, it's because they don't want no structure. They don't want to pay for a producer. They don't want to pay for somebody to help them scope their whole show. Like a lady had, like, I lie to you not, a lady came up with a podcast called uh, Women in Bourbon and Whiskey. Something like Women in Bourbon and Whiskey. And it went crazy. And I don't know why it went crazy, but she ended up being like the top 50, top 100 podcast. And it was just talking about different bourbons in Kentucky. Don't know why, who wants to care about that. But she had it
Hey, hey, hey,
structured.
hey, hey. I do.
See, and he's one of them. But she had it
Yeah.
structured. So if you have it structured the right way, then it could be something. And you know, within the first, what, I say 10 episodes, if you really got something, because many people don't make it past 5 or past 10. So if the 10 top episodes aren't
Right.
doing anything, then you already know, hey, it's not for me. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I get what you're saying, and it can work like that. The thing is, it's all about how you market yourself. Like, a lot of people have a hard time marketing themselves, and that's one reason right there why they shouldn't just start a podcast. Because it's really not for everybody. You can't just get in front of a camera and just start saying everything that's on your mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's the
Right.
problem. Some people just think it's just so easy to get in front of this camera and just say whatever they want to say. It doesn't work like that. It has to. You got to have a certain cadence. You got to have a certain style. It's a lot of stuff that really goes into it, and either you naturally got it or you don't. Some people is better off behind the scenes. Some people good at both, like Q. Q good at both. I mean, he a beast at both to me. So it's a lot
Thank
of
you. I
people.
appreciate it.
You got it, bro. But it's a lot of people and I agree with Tim. A lot of people don't need to do it because everybody doesn't have a voice. Everybody don't have something that's worth hearing. Now, if you got a good team behind you, and let's just say you not stand up comedian funny, but you kind of funny. You funny on camera, like Mike Epps. To me, he ain't stand up funny, but in the movie, he's hilarious. If you
Gotcha.
got that, if you get the right team behind you, okay, you that can be pushed. That's work wittable. You know what I'm saying? So all right, cool. But if you just somebody, just some average dude that work at Walmart, and you just say, I want to start a
Shout out to Walmart
podcast.
workers.
Yeah, but then I'm not no diss, but if you about to just start a podcast and just because you hate your life, that's not gonna work. Now if you
Damn.
work at Walmart, now if you work at Walmart and you want to start a podcast talking crazy about the customers or your coworkers, that might work because
Okay, we
there's some
got action.
structure in there. There's some structure in there. So yeah, I don't think everybody deserves to have a podcast. That is for the gifted only to me. The gifted and talented, I'll say that.
Okay, I'll take
What
this.
up, though, Shan? She said, do y'all feel like it's about the content or the supporters, followers of the podcast? So, first of all, shout out to Shan. Sorry for your loss, too. I just want your family is in our
Yes.
prayers for sure.
Definitely tell you.
But I feel like you really got to put your heart and soul into the content. Like the fans, I guess we'll call them the fans or the supporters, the followers. I think those will come. But it's not until you really pour everything that you got to into that content that it's gonna make sense. Because what you got to understand is that we are putting out legacy content, and what I mean by that is once we put it out there, it's out there. So like just because somebody not getting it right now, it could be for somebody later on. So if you're not putting that quality into that content 10 years later, who cares? Like, because the shit was just gonna be hot for the moment. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't trying to just be hot for the moment. Like I'm trying to build something here so you can kind of look back at it. And I think Tam, you probably the most versed in this because of the literary world. You know, in all honesty, most writers don't become famous until after they die, unfortunately. But
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
One of my
that's the
favorite
content that we
authors.
create, though. It's got to live on. That's got to be your legacy. So
Yeah,
for
one
sure,
of my
I'm gonna
favorite
say put
authors,
all
she's
it into the
deceased.
quality.
And I'm gonna tell you this one time. So I picked a book for book club, right? Y'all know I can go about the books, but I
For
picked this
sure.
book for book club, and my book club member, she is just like ranting and raving about this book. She's trying to look up all of them. She's trying to find the author. This woman had passed away. But
Mm.
here we were, this was last year, I think, in 2025, and we just eating up her content. You know what I mean? So that was her
Yeah,
art, that was her legacy that's
that's
still
our legacy.
here, you know?
Yeah,
So we have to think on those lines, absolutely, Q. That
for
if
sure.
if I'm gone tomorrow, that somebody gonna be able to hit up a little piece of YouTube and be like, dang,
Right.
Tamara really know how to
Exactly.
make them movie people talk about them books, boy.
Yep.
Okay.
No, for sure. I agree 100% on that one though. Thanks for that question though, Shanny. I appreciate that one for sure.
Yeah.
We got some more stuff on here. I want to just give a shout out to super producer Cal. Came up
Most
with
definitely.
our
Shout out,
whole
Cal.
list going on here.
Shout out to Cal, man. Super producer in the building, bro.
Super.
So yeah, so this is the thing too, though, right? Building assets, right? So this is definitely a thing if you are trying to build your brand. And we talk about assets, you're talking about email lists, communities, partnerships, that kind of thing, right? So just like you were saying earlier about the partnerships, but definitely, and I know it feel old school and it probably feel antiquated, but email lists are still the shit though. Like I
Absolutely.
get email
Yeah.
blasts from people that I can't even remember signing up for their emails, and every now and then it give me to click on something. So like I feel like we do have to start taking advantage of that though. We have to start doing the email marketing, and I know this is tedious, and some people get pissed off about it, but sometimes I do SMS list, right? So that's text messages, and I know people get annoyed with that sometimes, so I shied away from that. But I've done that before too, so it is helpful. Some people will tell you like, take it off the list, Beth. Like I don't want to keep getting text messages about all 19 of your goddamn podcasts. But take advantage of the email joints, and then just like he mentioned earlier too about how he dropped that sound bite or that clip into a blog. We got to start doing that better too. I'm definitely one of those who needs to start really taking advantage of the written aspect of things. So like when you post an episode, whatever you're talking about in that episode, something that sticks out, we got to start creating that into blog format too, and start sending those out in the email list.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with
Yeah,
you on that
You're
for
right.
sure.
yeah, I gotta get better at that
That's
because
why
I
they
don't be
say
doing
that
that.
Q's so good at everything. You know what I mean? He be behind the scenes working it out. He be in front of the camera giving y'all all of the tea, all the goodness, all the
I feel like we all know
information.
it. We just gotta get to work. I think we all know it. We just gotta get to work.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. We got to
Hmm.
carve out that time for ourselves to really learn the craft and to be consistent in doing it. It's a lot. Yeah,
It
it's a
can
lot.
be.
Because that's the other thing about starting a podcast is that you got to recognize that it ain't even just about what you're talking about in your content. It's about how you gonna
Facts.
market it and finding the
Yeah.
time to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Nah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, the things.
Right.
It's not for
And you
Like
definitely
everybody.
he.
gotta and you definitely gotta learn how to delegate because man, you can't do everything by yourself. And I tried it. And
Mm-mm.
I swear, if it wasn't for me joining podcasting, I probably would have quit because
You quit, right? For sure.
it was so much in the beginning and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even at the level that I'm at right now, but it was still a lot making clips, whether you using like a opus or something that's going to help you with the clips or not.
Mm-hmm.
It was still a lot of work just off of promoting and marketing alone. I've done it all
Mm-hmm.
by myself before. It's exhausting.
It
Exhausting.
is.
So you definitely got to learn how to delegate, and in order to learn how to delegate, you got to have a good team around you. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
that's important.
that's the thing too. I think as podcasters and how dare I say entrepreneurs, because I guess we are at this point. Not only do we have to become efficient at our craft, we have to become efficient as teachers as well. Because like a lot of times we'll create a team but we ain't teaching them shit. So like, I am definitely guilty of that. So this is a conversation I've had with my nephew because oftentimes like I run everything for for his podcast as far as production and all that stuff. But I do need to really sit down with him and give him some game so that he can start doing either some of this stuff for his own show or breaking off to the side and producing like a different set of shows. Because like at this point, we got enough content and enough game between both of us that we should be like at this point we should be like Cash Money and Young Money. You know what I'm saying? Like he should have the Young
Yeah,
Money division, let me run Cash Money, but he know how to do the production, do the marketing. Like I need to give him that game because otherwise, what I'm doing right now is building something, but I don't have nobody to pass it to because I didn't teach nobody nothing. So I think as a podcaster, you also have to become great at teaching. So that's just
Oh
adding
yeah.
another thing to what you got to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You right. Listen. Listen. I just gave out some advice on the
Mm-hmm.
morning show the other day. Uh, Lake, for an example, she was getting ready to make a point, and she got thrown off because of what was said in the conversation. And
Okay.
I got in the comments, and I was like, "Yo, get back to your point. Stop getting thrown off by one word." Because whatever
Yeah.
she was about to tap into, I know it was gonna be good because how she
It was
started it
it.
off. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could just tell. Like sometimes you just know in the beginning somebody about to say something good, especially when they're talking about the old version of themselves, because that's what she was talking about. The topic I
Let
believe
me
was
guess. Miles threw her off.
no. This time it wasn't
What?
Miles. That's the crazy part.
What?
This
I can't
this
believe
time it wasn't Miles. This time it was Miles the last time though. So it's funny you said that.
it.
Um,
Right.
but no, it was actually my cousin Jay Cerise. I call her
Okay.
Reese. Everybody else call her Jay Cerise.
Yeah.
She threw Lake off because of what the semantics of the word man or in male. So
Mm.
they were
Gotcha.
talking about the different versions. So
Yeah.
Reese was saying, "No, that's not a man. That's niggas or that's male."
I got
She
you. So you got yeah.
Lake got so caught up in that back and forth, she lost her point, and I was trying to get her to stay focused. But I told her, I
Yeah.
said, "Listen." She ended up messaging me after the show. She was like, What was it that I did wrong exactly?" And I was like, "Listen, you got caught up in the word game with cuz."
Mhm.
You had a good point that you was about to make and you got thrown off because you stayed focused on that and not
Right.
what the point you was about to make. You could have went back and forth for a little bit, but you never made it back to your point. So she was like, "Thank you," and I was like, "No," I said, "You got it," but I was like, "You a great podcaster, and I want to see you grow." So
No, for sure.
that's just how I am. When I know somebody great, I'm gonna push them to be great because somebody
Yeah.
did it for me. So
For sure.
I
Yeah.
just so yeah, you do have to be a great teacher. But not only do you have to be a great teacher, you also have to be a great mentor as well. Because
Right.
teaching is just that's the surface level.
But
Yeah.
Mentoring is bigger too.
I would say this
No, for
too, though,
sure.
Todd. Everybody's not coachable.
That's true.
That's true.
Everybody
Yeah,
not
that's true.
coachable,
I agree.
and everybody.
Everybody don't need no podcast.
Well, that's very true, but sometimes throwing the dog a bone, the dog don't know it's a bone until another dog come and pick it up. You feel me?
True.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a good one right there. I like. I'm gonna tuck that one into the arsenal.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
plenty of them,
I'm
That's
feeling
true.
that one for sure.
but it's just the truth.
But
So
you're right.
I mean, it's just that the bottom line is most people most people who know what they know, and everybody keep telling them that they're smart, really be the first ones to fall off. You feel me? Because they so stuck
Sure.
up into who they believe or who somebody told them that they were, versus completing the whole task. And I learned that a long time ago. There's so many people who engineered music that was around way before me. When maybe on my third, fourth professional job, I wound up landing Anita Baker. You feel me?
Yeah.
It was only
No,
because
for sure.
I was actually good, and I did not
And
need
not
nobody.
just because people told you, but because you had the skills.
Exactly, because I
I
actually
got
so a lot of people don't have that chance, and they don't know how to. As the Bible say, is tear the wheat from the grain. I mean the wheat from the tear. So understand the wheat from the tear. So some people just learn the hard way.
for
Yeah.
sure.
You're right about
Way to
that.
come in when we got 0 minutes left. All right, then. You chime it in. It's
Give
time
me
to
the
get up
video.
out of here.
Hold on, give me the video. I'm gonna show you what I just did. All right, then I gotta go.
On that note, man, very spirited conversation today, man. Thank you to everybody who checked us out today. We're gonna go around real quick. Everybody, tell them where people can find you. Tam, let's start with you, Tam.
All right. Hopefully y'all can hear me. You guys make sure you check me out on Tam Telling Tales YouTube channel, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, y'all.
For sure. Be tired.
JR. Oh, me? Oh, thank
Uh,
you. I
yeah,
was ready to call up JR, but you can find me you can find me at Talks with Ty across every platform. Okay, Talks with Todd. I just started season 5 today. Shout out to Miles for joining me, my homie Mel, and my producer Julian. Like today was a great episode, and Miles was dropping hella gems. So go back and tap in and watch it, man. It was a
for
great
sure.
it's a great first episode back, man. So yeah, it was dope, man. So find me across the board every Wednesday, 12:45. Every Wednesday, 5 o'clock for Pod Talk, and also every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, respectfully speaking.
For sure. That's what's up, dog. Shout out to my man JR on the ones and twos, bringing us to you, dog. Tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
All right, so you can find me at my podcast called Real Shit Let's Talk Podcast on every platform. Listen, you want to check it out because you want to talk some real? Hey, we're there. That's it for me.
For
Definitely.
sure. Shout out to my man Doc Chill in the background somewhere, dog, or making obituaries, whatever you're doing. Shout out to my dog. And of course, man, it's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live from the 48205, man. Let's get up out of here, y'all. Peace out.
Out of here, indeed.
Bye.